What is right to repair? Right to repair is what happens when consumers are tired of getting dicked around by big tech. So it's been a while since I made one of these, and I wanted to bring you all up to speed on something that I wholeheartedly believe in. This is something that I think affects us all, and I think it's become so much of a problem now that if we don't take the bull by the horns, things are going to get really ugly for consumers in the Western Hemisphere. I'm talking about right to repair. Now, what is right to repair? Right to repair is a movement that started when technology companies, Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Samsung, Ford, Tesla, when these technology companies, and don't kid yourself, Ford and all the other car companies, they are technology companies now, and just as much as Apple or Samsung. These technology companies are creating products that are using more and more technology. They're becoming more and more digitized. And as that happens, it's making it harder for us to repair the things that we buy from these companies, these products, when they no longer work properly. So you have two options. You used to have two options when you bought something. Let's look at 70 years ago. Maybe we're talking about a microwave that your mom or dad bought in 1975. Okay. It used to be when you bought a piece of technology and it stopped working, you could screw off a back panel or something, or get in there and access the internals of that device. And there used to be a manual, or at the very least a sticker, that said, hey, if this isn't working, then get this part or get this part. And there was a phone number you could call to the company that you bought it from. Like if it was Emerson or General Electric, and you would say, hey, I need a replacement bulb for this model of thing that you sold me. And they would say, okay, well, we'll ship it out to you, and here's the cost of the part, and what address do you want us to ship it to? Even if they didn't make that part anymore, they would be able to direct you to a company that still made that part, and you would be able to fix the things that you own or the things that no longer worked properly that way. Well, you fast forward to today, and you have to replace them entirely. And I'll tell you exactly what happens when you take your MacBook into a Genius Bar and you say, hey, this thing isn't working properly, it won't turn on, it won't charge, or it won't play sound. They're going to take your MacBook into the back, they're going to screw it open, or they're going to unscrew it, they're going to take a look at the internals, and if that logic board shows any signs of water damage, or any of the water indicators on your internals are showing up red or green or whatever the color is, they're going to come out of the back and they're going to tell you, we can't replace that logic board. It's unrepairable. We'll charge you $1,500 to replace it, and you also won't get all of your data back. Or you can get a new MacBook Pro for $2,500 or $2,600, whatever the cost of a new MacBook is. This is not just an Apple problem. It affects farming, tractors, people who buy John Deere tractors. When a sensor in their tractor all of a sudden stops working, they have two options. One, they can stop what they're doing, and they can tow that tractor into the service center, and they can wait for their tractor to be replaced. In the meantime, by the way, if you know farmers, time is money. All right, if you have to stop in the middle of your harvest to fix this problem with your tractor, then you're just flushing money down the toilet. You're holding $100 bills in your hand and lighting them on fire. So that's one option. The other option is to, again, stop what you're doing. You can call the dealership, and they can send a licensed repair technician out to you at an extra charge to diagnose and fix your tractor. It's time consuming, it's expensive, and also a lot of these technology companies are restricting access to parts so that we can fix it ourselves, just like the microwave that I was telling you about earlier. They won't allow the companies that make the parts to sell to customers. They won't allow companies to provide access to schematics or to parts for not only the general public, but also independent repair shops. And this is a huge problem, and that's where Right to Repair was born. This is my Surface Pro 3. It's an old 2-in-1 laptop made by Microsoft, And it's about 4 years old. It's clearly out of warranty. I bought it secondhand because it was a great price. I use it primarily for audio editing, but about 2 months ago, the fan started grinding horribly. This little device sounded like a damn Boeing 747 in my living room, and it's become unusable. I cannot use this thing. It is so loud. So what I did was I called 3 different service companies that are here locally where I am, and nobody will work on it. Why is that? Well, number one, the design choice by Microsoft. This device is a screen, and it also has the internals on this side. There are no screws on the back of this device. In order to access the internals, you have to take a heat gun, and you have to go all the way around the circumference of the device, and then you have to carefully loosen up the glue that holds the screen on top of the housing. You have to lift the screen off and hope that you don't crack it, and then you can access the internals like the motherboard, the CPU, the fan, if you want to upgrade the RAM, which hopefully isn't soldered on. But anyway, that's what you have to do just to clean the fan. Just to clean the fan. And it's time consuming. None of these independent repair shops have parts for it anymore because Microsoft restricts access to those parts. So my only other option is to send it in for replacement at Microsoft, and I'm going to show you what that would cost. So here we go. I pulled up support.microsoft.com, and I typed in, hey, listen, I'm having a problem with my Surface device, and it's out of warranty. What is the cost? And so I selected prices for the United States, and here's all the Surface devices if they're out of warranty, and we'll scroll all the way down here. Oh, they don't even service the Surface Pro 3 anymore. They'll do the Studio 2, the Pro 4, which came out a couple of years later, the Pro 5. But even if they did service this thing, if they could fix my problem, which they're saying they can't, look at these prices. $600 to replace a Pro 4, $450 to replace a Pro 5. If you have a Surface Studio, $900 to diagnose and fix your problem. This is not good for the consumer. Now, right to repair doesn't affect just me. It affects everybody. We're talking about a multitude of industries. We're talking about farming. We're talking about healthcare, breathing machines that need specific power adapters that are only made by one company. And if that company decides they want to get all of the service money for that product, or as close to 100% of all the money that could be spent on repairing that product, then they can restrict access to that very specific power adapter and charge hospitals. I don't know how much money it costs to repair a breathing machine, and I don't know how much it costs to get a new breathing machine. But I'm guessing it's a lot of money, and it's probably one of the reasons why healthcare costs are out of control. Now, you may have seen that on Friday, President Biden signed an executive order basically acknowledging that there were tons of problems with the monopolies that we have allowed big tech to become, and also with right to repair. And it addresses a number of other issues like healthcare and agriculture and farming. But he signed an executive order basically giving carte blanche to the FTC, who, by the way, already know that there's a problem, saying, hey guys, this is a problem, fix it. We need to keep the American marketplace competitive, and we also need to give consumers options and the freedom to actually own the things that they buy and to be able to repair them at non-exorbitant prices from all of these technology companies. By the way, I can already see the comment section. I've recorded this video earlier today, and I can already see the comment section. It's going to be, well, Biden, blah, 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 blah. Guys, I don't care. I don't care. If this executive order had come from the next Republican president, or if it had come from Trump, or if it had come from anybody, I don't care. Right to repair is sorely needed at a time when big tech has so much control over the things that we buy. You ought to have control. You ought to be able to make informed decisions, and you also ought to be able to have options to repair the things that you buy when they stop working properly. Look, all I'm saying is that it would be better, not only for the consumer, but also for business, if we could get access to schematics and parts for the pieces of technology that are so pervasive in our lives. Think about if we could get access to those schematics and parts, right? It would be good for business because we would have more independent repair companies. They would be competing with each other for the best prices, for the best service, and that's great for the consumer, right? Instead of Apple or Samsung or Tesla or Ford or John Deere having a monopoly on servicing those products and charging you ridiculous service fees, why couldn't we just say, hey, by the way, I have 4 other quotes from local companies who can also repair this product. How about you come down on that price a little bit and see if you can give me better service? Wouldn't that be great for business? Isn't that how it's supposed to work? And by the way, all of these technology companies, Apple, Samsung, Ford, Tesla, Microsoft, every single one of them, they are aggressively lobbying to ensure that right to repair legislation is never passed in any state. They're aggressively lobbying in Washington, Montana, Nebraska, Iowa, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Georgia. They're all over the place. Now, they're giving a lot of reasons why right to repair should not be passed, and they're weak-ass arguments, but I'll give them to you anyway. The first argument against is data and privacy. They're saying that if independent repair shops, like if Firestone gets access to the data in your car, or if the shop that you take when you crack your iPhone screen gets access to your data, then they could potentially harm you, they could stalk you, they could rape you, they could kill you. Which is just ridiculous because these companies gain nothing from non-repeat business. They want to be able to fix your problem, and they also want you to come back and also tell your friends. So that's a ridiculous argument. The other argument is that you could hurt yourself taking the battery out of your Galaxy phone. Here's the thing. If you have access to a precision toolkit, precision screwdrivers, and you take your Samsung Galaxy apart, you can take the battery out and you can lay it on a table, you can hit it with a hammer, and you're not going to hurt yourself as long as you don't bash one of your fingers. These are not legitimate arguments against right to repair. You know what they are? They are scare tactics. They are trying to scare you into thinking that right to repair is a bad idea so that they can maintain their control over the service monopolies that they've created. All right, I'm going to get off the stump now. If you learn anything about me from watching this video, know that I am for right to repair, and I think that we should have more choices as consumers. Thanks for watching.
Yeah!